we're working on some contact so we know where the ball's going to fly. Just have a better idea of golfing our ball. You taken lessons in the past? No? Okay, cool. Let's hit some shots. We'll jump right into a video analysis. Setup looks pretty good. The thing I look for in the setup is trying to make sure that the knees and the shoulders are somewhat in a straight line, one on top of another. Yep. If this is too leaned forward that way, then our heavy part, being our head and our shoulders, are too far on the toes, and that affects the balance. But overall, I think this looks pretty good. I don't think that I would tweak it, because I think you stand this way. You mentioned it, you just do things naturally. You stand this way naturally because that's how your body's made up to stand comfortably. Yes. And I'd way rather you be comfortable than somebody's golf textbook correct. Got it. So I like the way this is here. Okay. I haven't looked at the grip yet, but we'll talk about that after. Okay, so as the club goes back, we've got the club face kind of tilted down a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. It just is what it is. It's going to come with a pattern matchup. And you get to the top in a pretty good spot. That club's like ready to smash the ball.
So in terms of what I perceive, based on like videos and stuff that I've seen even from you, I don't feel like I coil. Like I don't feel like I torque and store all that energy to come down, and like it's just like a sway and back at it.
Okay.
Like that's my perception. That's
okay. Well, that's cool, because that's somewhere where we can go with this, because the way that I'm kind of seeing what's happening from here is that we've got the arms coming down a little bit faster than the body turn, and when the arms come down and we get this club coming back here, it's kind of getting back there a little bit because it's getting too wide.
Okay.
So it's in a good looking spot, but if we looked at it from face on, we would notice that the golf club's too close to this camera here. It's too wide. So what happens is that club got wide, you have to reach down for the bottom, and we don't get quite a lot of turn here. Right? So there's like
one of the issues I have is that I don't perceive that my body likes the turn, or I've never.
We need something to do to change this, so we're going to talk about lower body finish in order to keep this left arm from being bent and that left wrist from being bent like that, because all that's doing is that has the grip too close to us, and we need to feel that grip stay far away from us. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about your transition, what you're going to do here with your body, how it's going to affect your hands, and then what we have to do with the legs to get them there with the club still there.
Lower. Okay.
Okay. So let's see what we can do. All right, so come on over here and stand right here for me. Yep. So big pieces of the puzzle are trying to make sure that from this pretty decent backswing that we can get the lower body going, or the entire body going toward the target without the arms outracing it on the way down. Right. So when it goes from here and your arms come down so aggressively and then they come into the golf ball, that's what's making the legs have the appearance like they're in the same spot at setup. They're not in a different position. So we're going to go from this backswing piece, we're going to talk about trying to feel like you can get the left side of you, right? Like where my shirt seam is right here. That has to feel like it starts to push or pull itself toward the target. It's going to be more of a push. It's going to pull the club. It's going to push that toward the target. We're going to get the arms to maintain a little bit more leverage on this club, all the way around until we can get the right knee to get to the left knee. And I think that if we talked about how the leg action worked, you're not going to be frozen here trying to do something else. You're going to have this stay frozen as you start to turn yourself around the corner. So a bunch of different ways that I've kind of talked about trying to get someone here, but the big thing, I mean, I don't like talking too much about like hip turn and shoulder turn, because it's like that's what we've always talked about. And not many people make big changes with that. I like to talk about, like, rather than the bones, like our fatty pieces on us. So from the top of the swing, I feel like it's my love handle right here, that starts to pull itself toward the target and around behind me. All right, and as that starts to pull itself around behind me, you can see what it's going to do. If I just barely hold on to this club and start pulling that left love handle around, okay, see how much hip rotation that's given me? I don't feel like I've done anything to my hips. I feel like I'm just pulling this around the side. So if I can pull that around the side all the way to the point where this knee can get to the other knee, to the point that my knees have a touch, that's going to be a big thing in order to take this golf club, like we saw. And rather than have the arms pulled down into this pocket, what's going to happen is love handle starts to pull, see where the club's kind of falling down to, right? And that falling down part is what's going to give us our visual appearance of more angle here. But if it's going from here and pulling down that way, the only way to get to the golf ball is to start pushing out. And now we lose it all. Okay, so I want you in here and you trying to do some of this stuff. Okay, so this is a good time to check your grip. Okay, we can do a little bit of a grip tweak, just a touch. So I'm a big believer that in the grip, the more that it's rolled over this way, the more we can strike the ball better, the better we can strike it. So Golf Channel and everyone would call that a strong grip. I would call it like weak would be terrible, neutral would be almost as terrible, and then strong grip would be completely normal, functional, like the majority of the tour. The only guys that have the appearance of weak grips are the guys that have big grips, right? Like Bryson DeChambeau has a grip like that. Of course it's going to be weak. You need something like that, for sure. Okay, and so put the other hand on. Can we get these two on rubber, not leather, rubber? Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Rolled. Rubber. Okay, hold it there. Now it's going to close down a little bit. When it does, you have to feel like you change this to square your face up. Okay. I like it. So the grip is stronger on the club, but because I push the hands forward, it doesn't feel as strong anymore.
Okay.
Well, it might not. Okay, I like that there. Hold that there. Okay, so take it up to the top of your normal backswing.
Love handle towards the ball.
Yeah, just take it all the way up to the top in your normal way. Okay, so from here, without trying to move too much of this stuff, start pulling this back around toward me. It's going to stay low, and it's going to keep pulling back around toward me until this knee wants to touch the other knee. Okay, keep going. Hold it there. And now stand tall. Stand tall. Push your hips forward and stand tall. Not bad. Start again. So love handle around the corner. Knees touch, get tall. Yeah, keep going, keep going. You got it? Yeah, let's make some practice swings without the slow motion. We'll see how it works. Just practice swings, no ball. Cool. Another one. Okay. If it's hard to get the knees there, or you find you're losing your balance, bring your feet closer in together. Okay. When you start to pull this around to the side, your weight should be on this heel. Okay, so all the way up to the top. Hold it up there for me. Okay, so I need you to stomp on this heel like you're wearing a woman's shoe, and you're going to stick it into the ground as this pulls back around. Your toes might even come off the ground. Okay, good. There you go. And then knee squeeze. All right, now the timing for all this. We're going to go, this has to pull around. Heel goes down into the ground like that. And then my knee squeeze happens just after the club passes the ball. Up to the top, heel, love handle, tall with the knee squeeze. Heel, love handle, tall with the knee squeeze. Tall is from here down. Tall isn't necessarily from here up, right? It's trying to feel that once I go heel, around the corner, I get tall to get my knees together. It's the lower body that's tall. Because when you start doing this fast, it's almost like a jump. See how my feet slip? Right? That's because I'm jumping fast to do this. As soon as this starts to turn around, it's going to get to a spot where it can't really go anymore. The way that it keeps going is that this gets straight really fast. So like on the TV coverage, when one of the analysts talk about how the player fires their hips through the ball, it's not a hip firing. It's the knee straightens so hard that it makes it look like it's twisting, right? But it's just forcing the left hip back and making the pelvis move, right? Like Tiger broke his leg doing that move that big. So we want to try and, first of all, get the feeling that it goes to the heel and that you can pull around the corner. Go to the heel, pull it around the corner. Around the corner being, right? Okay. Heel, around the corner, and then tall with the legs until the legs get to touch. Okay, let me see a few. Not bad. One more time. Okay, so take it to the top. I'm going to give you something cool to do. All the way up, hold it there. Okay, and don't hold your breath. There we go, okay. Think of this. When you hold your breath, you take your lungs and you expand them. Okay, and when they're expanded, they're heavy. So when you're up here trying to do this stuff, that's what's making you fall. Because this gets too heavy. Let it all out. You should be at a stage like before you pull the trigger, you should be at a stage where there's like nothing in you. There's nothing in your lungs. You're at the bottom of your breath. And then from there, as you take it to the top, right, still nothing in my breath. You know? So let it all out. Not bad. Now, all the stuff that I talked about with the stomp, the around the corner, and the stand, that has to happen before you swing. Before you start swinging that club, because one of the things that happens with when the golfer finishes with the elbow bent and the wrist bent is that they've made their golf club get back to impact too soon, too early. So the whole point of wrist angles is to keep the club head away from the ball. So if I take my wrists and get the club head away from the ball in any orientation, I don't really care, club head's away from the ball, I'm keeping the club away from the ball. I want to stomp, turn, stand and squeeze while still keeping it away from the ball. So the idea in the swing that we go from here and we're trying to get the club back on top of the golf ball in the shortest period of time is what's leading to the arms passing you. It takes longer to do our stomp, move, stand and squeeze. It takes longer to do that than getting the club to the ball. So leave the club back and delay it as you start getting into that stuff. Okay. Good. Really good. Do you not like those? Do you not like those backswings?
No, it's just I'm trying to reconcile in my head doing the finishing part.
Okay.
So
Okay. So let's crank it up into your normal backswing. I think it's fine. Okay. So from here, stomp on the left heel. Start and make that start moving your love handle. So the stomp and the turn. That's the first move.
and it's based
Stomp
off
and
the
turn.
heel.
It is. It's going like the old school guys. Nicholas and them used to lift it up, right? Stomp, turn. Stomp and turn. They both go together. Every time that you've stomped, you've kept your balance. So stomp and turn, and then swing through. We'll make it kind of easy on this one. Stomp and turn. Good. Okay. So I'm going to hit one shot off a tee. Okay. Stomp and turn. Not too bad at all. Okay. Same idea. Stomp and turn, and keep that stomp happening. Once you stomp into that left heel, we have to push ourselves up from there. So try not to stay too far on the toes.
So should I raise the left foot as I?
Totally up to you. If that's something you feel is a nice, fun trigger to do, you're welcome to it. So try to feel like, I know it's a lot of stuff that I've told you, try to feel like right at setup, you soften everything up.
Okay.
Right? And you take all the squeeze out of things so that when you're doing this backswing, that it's a squeezeless, like feathery backswing. So that when you start to stomp and turn, that the only things that are squeezing and really moving or ready to move is the stomp and the turn.
Okay.
But just like shoulders, arms, back, lighten it up. Not bad at all. So one of the reasons why there's balance is because there's issues is because the upper body is just squeezing too hard.
tight.
It's like you're trying to shoot a bazooka from a skateboard.
Yeah.
We've got too much upstairs pressure for what we can control downstairs. So step one today is going to feel like it's loose, wobbly, wiggly, like no tension at all. And I want you to feel like you can get there in order to gain control.
Yeah.
It's not careless.
Yeah.
It's more carefree. Okay? So from there, we're going stomp and turn. And if we can get that to happen first, we'll talk about the squeeze and the stand after. But right now, we're at 4 words.
Stomp. Yeah.
Stomp and turn. And if anything kind of gets in the way of those 4 words, let's revert back to those 4. Okay, good stuff. Better. Okay, so feet closer just a little bit,
Yeah.
all right? And bring your feet back this way more to play the ball more forward in your stance.
Okay.
There we go, let's go there. Not bad. So take it up to the top, hold it up there. all the way to the top and hold it. Okay, I'll look at the ball. Okay, so breathe, soften up, start stomping and turning. Okay, keep going, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Hold it. Okay, so the club hasn't got to the ball yet, and you've done all that stuff.
Yep.
Okay, that's where we need to try and get to. It has a stomp and a little turn, and then your arms are taking over, which is why the left elbow still is coming out of the side over here.
Okay.
So one more time, take it up to the top. I'll give you a different view. So all the way to the top. Okay, so if I could jam this in your ribs right here, I'm going to hold that there. I need you to turn until this shaft points at the target and keep your arms on the left side of that shaft. Keep turning. Stand. Tall, tall, turn. Good. There. Now the club's there. Okay. So then you hit it and release it and it catches up to the middle of you over here. Okay, one more time. Imagine that shaft was there and turn the shaft to the target through the stomp and the turn. Feet are a little too close. It should be about like a basketball or the length of one of your shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tension free, no breath, all the way to the finish. That was an awesome shot. Way to go. I think a lot of the mishits can be removed from just being tension free. It sounds so easy to say, and it's like, oh, we've done it, like magically it's all done now, but like you've got to feel like every time you set up to the ball that it's going to be tension free, and then think about the moves and only create tension through these moves. Turn your grip over a little on your glove. Yeah. Good. And then push your hands forward in a forward press toward the target. Good. Okay. So we're trying to get you to stomp and turn and all that stuff, but I want you to feel like you can stop the club before it gets to here. So I want a full swing, I want full distance, but I want you to hit the brakes so the club doesn't go get to here. I know, it's going to be a tough one. It's like a punch shot.
Yeah.
Try and stop it short. Good shot. So this demonstrates that sometimes I think that your swing with your arms, the power goes for too far. And that's where we hit the ground behind the ball. we're going to learn to slow the arms down to kick out the speed to the club. So same thing, stomp and turn. Turn happens for a long time, longer than you think, and then short arm finish. Okay, one more. Can't do it with that hand very well. Okay, roll the grip a little. There you go, good. Okay. Stomp, turn, stop short. Okay. So if the arms swing for too far, I mean, we've talked about trying to take your arms out of your swing a little bit, trying to really drive them with the body. Right. But at the end of the day, the arms do speed up around here in the backswing. But as my arms come into impact, they have to slow down to give time and allow this thing to catch up. And the whole part about decelerating the arms provides acceleration to the club head is like, it's like when you're on skates, you're going down the street and then you hit a rock and you go even faster through the air, right? The stopping creates an acceleration. And I think that if we can feel like we've got the stomp and the turn and feel as though that you can stop your arms shorter, we're going to start to kick that club head out at a different time. But at times when you go from stomp and a little turn and then you swing your arms hard in the direction of the target, that's the one that really comes all the way around like this. So the grip is traveling on too far of a circle. It has to travel on such a smaller circle relative to the club head, right? So on the follow through, we're going to still work on our idea of stomping and turning, right? And the turn happens all the way until this side gets closer to the target than the point you're turning. Okay, so it's a long way. And then from there, stop the arm shorter to hit something more like that. You'll start to get a different divot down there. Okay, let's practice that stuff and then into the driver soon. So give me some feedback on all this stuff.
I can tell. I guess I understand what you're asking me to do, and I can tell when I'm not doing it because if I don't get tall, then I take a divot. If I get tall and I hit it clean, then it goes the way it's supposed to. So it's just lining it all up.
Okay. And so what are the pieces that are on your checklist right now? Like, talk me through your ideas.
Hand setup.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess I used to be too wide, and I struggle with starting like this as opposed to closer. And then I try to think about being loose, like not having any impediments. And then when I get here, I try to think about bringing this down faster.
Okay.
Or trying to get ahead.
Yeah.
Trying to get my love handle through.
Okay. So let's try this out. So take it to the top of your swing. Hold it up there.
Okay. Yeah.
Now that love handle has to go back that way behind your heels.
Right.
Not toward the target so much, more behind you, back behind you.
So
almost like it's trying to come around toward me, where I am here.
Right. So I guess I'm struggling a bit with ingraining this piece.
Yep.
And then getting around and holding this off a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when I get too quick with this, I get...
When it gets too early, it kind of hits the ground first, sends it out to the right. Correct.
Okay. I held my breath.
Okay. So if you lose your balance, it's because the love handle didn't keep going. It stopped too soon. So it feels like it's still turning and pulling as the ball goes through the air.
Okay. I'm also trying to think about, you said at the last time, half swing as opposed to full swing?
Follow through, yeah.
So I'm struggling with remembering to stop.
Okay. That was a good move. I like that. Do that one again. Same thing, same ideas.
If I can replicate that.
Okay. If we stick with the same concepts, you'll have a bunch of different feels to try and accomplish the concept, but
Right.
try not to duplicate feels. Like if you get a feel from something, it's a result of, we're trying to move this out of the way. Oh, I feel it in my hip. Okay, but you got that by trying to move out of the way.
Yes.
Great shot. Way to go. Okay. So when I first talked about stuff this morning, first thing,
Yes.
I mentioned that we had to work on the stomp,
Yep.
the turn, the tall,
Yes.
and the squeeze.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to go to number 3, the tallness part. Okay. Now, when I'm watching you hit some of these shots, sometimes you're getting very tall with your upper body, but your legs are still bent. So it kind of goes from here, and you're going tall,
Right.
which pulls the club out of the ground, but that's still bent. And I want it to feel like all the tallness is a lower body thing.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go from this stomp onto the heel, and I want the knee straightening, getting you tall, to feel like it powers the love handle around the corner. It's all the same move right now. It's land on the heel, straighten this up to power this all the way back around you. Stomp, stand, turn. Okay, and let's try and if we can put those 3 pieces together just to make sure that we're standing up this way instead of doing it this way, which you can see if I stood up with my chest, look what it does to the grip. Pushes it way offline. Okay. Close, really close there. Another one. Yeah, way to go. Nice shot. Wow, way to go. Great strike. So fluid. So we've got 3 words: stomp, straighten, turn, right? Those 3 things all on your left side. Keep working on that. Try and get that into one move, one idea. I know it's hard because it's 3 words, but those 3 words lead to one motion, right? And practice the motion, get comfortable with it, hit some shots.
Yep.
Yeah, let's keep trying to go with it. I like the contact. It's good. Another good move. And so these things, you can practice them a little bit at slower speed to feel like you get them all in the right order. But you have to practice at fast speed at the same amount of time. So if you're spending 20 minutes working on it slow, you need 20 minutes working on it fast, because it's not going to work unless it's fast. It's a catalyst to speed. So swinging that club like at home, backyard, front yard, feeling like you can get all of that left side tall and out of the way so that your right side has room to come through. And that's going to be the big key to keep the club moving, so you don't have to do stuff with your hands. Digging it in the ground, turning it over, whatever. So stomp on the front, straighten the left knee, pull the left side out of the way.